Hello there, I'm Brer, and welcome to my first draw with me. I felt like drawing a winter version of Hatsune Miku, and since I'm posting this in January, and it's still technically winter, I figure why not? Plus, I want to talk about the sketch because it's one of my first times diving a bit more into alcohol markers. To start off a bit, I want to talk about the paper I used, which was a mixed media Canson sketchbook on 5x5 by 8.5 inch paper. I usually use this paper for gouache, but for this time I used with Ohuhu alcohol markers. God, that's funny to say. And I always wanted a Copic alcohol marker to try, but those are a bit expensive, so I'm trying Ohuhu. So as you can see, I started out with an initial sketch. This wasn't really the hard part for me. I was just trying to figure out a way to make her dress look really flowy and trying to make it so that the hair and the pigtails also follow the flowiness and bounciness of the dress. I wanted to make it seem like she's just glancing at the little snowflakes outside, just having her cute little Winter Hatsune Miku moment. I was gonna draw the 2023 version at first, but I have a habit of putting too much on myself, so as I'm trying to get more consistent with my channel, I wanted to start off with a simple video, so I wanted to start off with a simple outfit for Hatsune Miku. So as we're finishing up the sketch, the first thing I'm going to do is lay down the blender for the highlights. Since Miku has a much more lighter skin tone, I'm going to use where I put the blender for the whites as a highlight for the skin. The first thing I'm going to do is set down the base shadows, and as I set down the base shadows, I'm going to blend it in. I tried to stick with more neutral skin tones and use blue and purple for the shading, since again this is winter and we want to try to do a more cool toned, softer look than what she usually wears, which is still cool tone and still kind of soft, but not winter softness, if you know what I mean.
No one else has got me feeling this way. Every minute, every hour I spend is on you every single day. I've always wondered what it takes to fill this empty void inside.
Whenever I do shading with alcohol markers, I feel like I have to start from the back, so I have to start thinking about the placement of the lights first before I set down the shadows for the outfit. What I use to try to reference the lighting that I'm going to use is a site called posemy.art.com. I tried to pose Miku I tried to pose the 3D model in a similar way that I posed Miku and laid the lighting in how the way that I want to show in the drawing and try to work from that reference. I feel like it's really good to work from references, by the way. I'm not gonna lie, I work from references with almost every piece that I work with, and I don't know. I feel like it helps me learn, and it really helps me with the placement of shadows, values, anatomy, and proportions when it comes to things like that. So I will admit, when it comes to the shading of the dress, I made a bit of a mistake. So I feel like the blues that I was expecting was much darker than what I got. So sadly, it didn't come out like a lighter blue in the reference. I really tried to work with this. I really tried to do my best. I figured instead of trying to get exactly to the reference, I'll just dig with the darker shade of the dress and maybe make the hair a little bit more lighter to like balance everything out. So sadly, my camera died while I was coloring the hair, but I did want to talk about the process a bit as I put on the finishing touches for everything else. As you can see, I tried to stick with using gray for the upper part of the shading of the hair because, as shown in the reference, the hair still is like very white slash gray, while trying to stick with the blue fading into the gray. I think at the time that I did this, I started with shading with the gray first, and as I got deeper with the gray tones, then I shaded with the blue. I do really like how it came out though.
Charlie Brown, I can tell you what Christmas is all about. Lights, please. Behold, I bring you tidings of great joy.
this was the hardest part of the sketch for me, which was like getting the snowflake design perfect. I was trying to use white acrylic paint to highlight, but let's just say my hands were not very steady. And the acrylic paint really did not want to work with me that day. I tried my best, but I still had fun like making this and painting this. And although it don't, look entirely perfect, it still looks pretty cute to me, and I just really enjoy how the highlights came out, even though I thought I messed up on that the darker shadows. Now that I see it, it's blending in a little bit more nicely. And I don't know, I just feel like I did a pretty good job for with what I was given. So I wanted to say thank you for watching my Draw With Me video, and I will try to get these out at a more regular, comfortable pace. If you drew anything, feel free to send it to me on Instagram or something. Feel free to leave your alcohol marker tips in the comments. Um, it was fun doing this. See you later in the next video. Bye bye. Bye bye.